Thousands of years ago, these hunters found a backwater planet. They taught humans how to build and were worshipped as gods.
We wanted to make sure that the Predator home planet was in line with things we know about the Predator mythology.
The only reference that we had for any of the architecture was from the first AVP movie. It was just kind of these Predator temples with cool Predator language everywhere and statues.
We're thinking that, you know, if they were going to instill some of their technology and culture on another planet, it would have to mimic at least a little bit of where they came from. We basically kind of took a look at pretty much everything that was out there. Predator 2, the interior of the ship, I think, was a very important reference for us because it showed is much more of that kind of ancient style and the designs. There's a lot of curves to it, and also just the color palette. A lot of the structures we went with are these interesting cubic structures, almost upside-down type of pyramids. There's actually a convention center in Japan that I've seen that was actually a great reference for us because it actually literally is 4 upside-down pyramids. And it was kind of a cool starting point. And then from there, we had to sit with our concept designers, work out some different ideas of what this Predator homeworld could look like.
The good thing about the team of concept artists we have at Hydraulics is that, they take the idea and go off in their own little worlds. This planet, there was a lot of lava flow. Colin and Greg thought it might have been a little too evil. This one kind of seems like, some kind of a gladiatorial stadium. Definitely otherworldly. Greg and Colin actually thought this was pretty interesting. There is a lot of scope with this image. It definitely does feel really industrial. From this concept, we kind of got that idea from the 2 suns. That was just a concept, actually, I did a while back for the landing pad. It has that kind of sacred temple look, but mixed with, technology. Greg and Colin especially like the area with all the foliage and everything like that, and this concept specifically, the architecture seemed to be like a nice balance between sacred temples and modern technology. And so from this, they kind of wanted me to elaborate on it and, turn this into the Predator homeworld.
It definitely needed to have an atmosphere to the planet. It definitely needed to have a kind of hot feeling to the planet.
Only in the hottest years this happens. And this year it grows hot.
Predator 1 established that where they like to hunt, it's a very mountainous jungle type of environment. Because predators don't see visible light, they don't need a lot of normal lighting, and we also think that the look of their planet probably would have a different sort of color tone to it. From there, we decided to do a planet with 2 suns. It's mostly kind of orange, and basically it's like a tropical type of planet. The Predator homeworld is actually a combination of live-action and CG. We actually built the Predator throne out of basically green screen plywood and had our real Predator with his animatronic head shot in camera. And then we also built the armory in camera. So those shots were completely practical.
We placed the Predator that was on set into his throne room.
And the main throne room was a fully digital set.
What this is a 3-dimensional model, which can be shown in either wireframe, like that, which are all the little pieces that make up the model, or this is just flat shade and grayscale. And it's the simplest way to view a model before we start putting the textures and lighting on it. The challenge was, since nobody's ever seen this side of the Predator universe before, to make something that looked very Predator-like, aggressive and somewhat tribal. Predator's throne is adorned with skulls from previous hunts and all sorts of dinosaur bones and all sorts of crazy stuff that he's collected throughout the universe. Once you complete the model, it's just a blank. The surfaces are smooth with no color, and to make it look more realistic, we have to get in Photoshop and paint up textures that'll make it look more of like a tactile thing. Then the next step is just like a real set. You have to light it, set the lights up like you want it to look. And in 3D space, you have a little camera in there too. It's very much just like a film set, except it's in your computer and a nerd is creating it. I say that lovingly.
There was talks at one point of us trying to get an alien homeworld. And actually, it was going to be the final shot of the movie. It was something that we did some concepts for, kind of played around with it.
It's very much in keeping with the, the design aspects of the aliens. It's a Giger-esque kind of hive-like landscape, extremely scary, barren planet.
It was just, again, one of those things that it felt a little forced in. So I think it might be better to be explored in the next movie.